Calibrating cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go. Woo! Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to this edition of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold. Welcome to the show. Glad you could tune in. So before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and do all that fun internet stuff like the old people say. So as you guys know over here, as you know how we do over here in Trippin with Theobold land, over here in Theobold Productions, we got to get to the tongue twisties. Got to get to them. So here we go. So today's tongue twisties is brought to you by the letter Q. Q. Here we go. Tongue twisty number 1. So you guys like you know how I said before, you guys can either read along with me or you can watch me struggle. The choice is yours. You always have a choice over here in Trippin with Theobold land. So here we go. Number 1. Quick kiss, quick kiss, quick kiss. One more time. Quick kiss, quick kiss, quick kiss. Final time. Quick kiss, quick kiss, quick kiss. Get them quick kisses be some bullshit, huh? I mean, can I cuss yet? I just made the mark. 205. I'm good. Okay, let me stop messing around. Tongue twisty number 2. Quentin Quake quarreled quite quietly with the Queen's Quartet. Too much quarreling. Quentin Quake quarreled quite come on, Dre. Quentin Quake quarreled quite quietly with the Queen's Quartet. Last time. Quentin Quake quarreled quite quietly with the Queen's Quartet. Final tongue twisty. Here we go. Quacky quackers quietly count their quarters. Quacky quackers quietly count their quarters. You know, keeping change quiet is hard. You know, you got quarter. Okay, let me stop messing around. Quacky quackers quietly count their quarters. And yay, the tongue twisties are done. Got them out the way. So let's go ahead and dive on into the topic. So today's episode is it's about taking L's, or more specifically, I recently took a L in stand-up comedy, man. I took a hard L, man. Like I took a really hard L, man. That it got bad. So let me just go ahead and recap what happened. Like I said, I don't date my pods. I just talk in the moment. So all you need to know is I recently, as of recording this, I took a L. I took a hard L in stand-up, man. So what happened was this, right? So I did a show at this venue, and I played there before. I did this venue probably like 4 times, 5 times. Never had an issue. No issues. I'm able to do I have a standing ovation worthy set? No. Or was it a standing ovation worthy set? No, but I was respectable. Like I had within 15 minutes, I would have some solid laughs, you know? So anyways, I get hit up to do this show on a Saturday night. And I get there, and then when I get there, I walk in on the first comedian that's going up because they gave me my time slot to go up. They told me to show up at a certain time. I showed up a little earlier, and I saw the tail end of this other comedian set, one of my good comedian friends set. and it looked like he was up there struggling. Like, he just looked like he didn't really want to be up there, So I'm like thinking to myself, okay, maybe I didn't watch his whole set, so maybe he took a risk. And I know his style of comedy is like real, like he'll go over the edge, and it's funny, but it works for like certain crowds. So I thought maybe, I'm just assuming, like like I said, I'm just speculating here. But what I speculated was he tried some material that was probably over the edge, and it didn't go over that well. And then because he was doing like a lot of explaining to the audience, and and then he left, it was just real awkward, So I was like, okay, what's going on in the room? So then there was another female comic that went up. She did okay. I mean, she did good, and then a newer comedian that I met recently, he went up, and he kind of like struggled a little bit out the gate, but then he did good, and then another comedian friend of mine went up. I thought I was gonna be going next to last. I didn't know I was closing out the show. So another comedian went up there, and then he went up there, and he's like a nerdy comedian, and his stuff went over well, and then it was my turn. So I get up there, and I open up with my first joke. Matter of fact, I did the same joke on the same stage like not too long ago with the same DJ, and it's my medical school joke, and it's one of those jokes where it's more of a silly joke. It's like not really, it's like I'm not knocking you up. It's like I'm not knocking you upside the head with it, but when you see what I'm doing, it's like, okay, this is stupid, but it normally gets a laugh. So I did this first joke, and it just kind of fell flat. And then I didn't panic. And then I went to my second joke, which was my I got the hookup joke. And that's a funny joke. Like that joke actually got me it actually got me somewhere recently. Don't want to speak too much on that. But anyways, like nothing was working, right? So nothing's working. And then I do jokes about my mom, and then that didn't work, and then it just got weird, right? So now what happened, so what started to happen was like the room just got chaotic, like first of all, the sound system wasn't that good, man. Like it's just real muffled, and it's not like the volume is like a little too low, so the audience can actually compete with what you're saying. So it was just a lot of stuff. Like I was getting heckled during my set. People were like kind of like throwing me off. Like every time I opened up there was one heckler that was trying to be nice, but it was weird, man. It was like I wasn't sure if she was trying to throw people off or trying to throw me off, but it was like she kept jumping in, and it was like she wanted it to be more about her, so it was just it got real weird, and then there was a table of bitches, sorry, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, must be a bitch, but at the end of the day, like here's the thing, right? I just don't call random women bitches. You have to do something to earn the right for me to call you a bitch. And these bitches did some shit. Like they was just loud, they were ratchet, they had their back turned, they were just being really disruptive and just being rude, So I remember like towards the second half of my set, probably like the second third of my set, beginning of the second third of my set, there was that table of bitches with the hookah and stuff. They were just like talking loud. So I tried to like, at some point, like at one point, I just couldn't even hear myself think. Like I couldn't even like form a complete thought because, people people were heckling, people were, you know, talking loud at the table. So I just said, you know what, let me go ahead and see what's going on at this table over here. So I went over to that table. I didn't go over there, but I just, you know, I went in and I just asked him. I was like, hey, what's going on over here? Like, you know, just being funny, trying to make light of the situation. You know, I was like, hey man, fuck my material, but y'all not listening. So let's see what's going on over here, right? So they were all of a sudden then being like gun shy. They were like, oh, we're trying to we're talking about hookah. And I was like, okay, what's so special about hookah? Like they were just being like, they knew it's like they were trying to be secretive, but they were being loud. And then once I asked them about what was going on, they got coy about it, you know? So they didn't, so anyways, it just got weird. And then where the shit really like this is the part that really hurt, man. Like the part that really hurt was when there was this other bitch at a table behind that table, and she was loud too with another like female friend of hers or whatever. And just out of nowhere, as I'm trying to address this table, she just shouts out, presents. Either you have it or you don't. I was like, damn, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, damn, so I tried to make that funny and then it just didn't go over. And then I tried to just like close out. I then tried to close out on just like a regular joke, a regular like what do you call it? I then tried to close out on a regular like retired joke, and I got the setup going. People were laughing, they were on board, and then right when I got ready to deliver the punchline or the punch of the joke, the one bitch that was heckling jumped out and said some shit and just ruined it. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. Bye. You know, so it was a really weird set. Like my confidence was shook. Confidence was fucked up after that set. And to be honest, it's like still a little fucked up after this set. I mean, it's still a little fucked up now, you know, because that's what happens, you know. So, who do I blame? I blame myself first and foremost, right? The major mistake I made in that room at that time was I did not recognize the room danger. There was a lot of room dangers in there. So number one rule of a comedian is you have to like recognize the room dangers, you know? So anytime I do a show, here's the thing. Anytime I do a show and if it's not stated up front that, hey, there's no heckling the comedians and no disrupting the show, if you do either of those things, you will be asked to leave. And if they don't have people to actually enforce that, then the room dangers are wide open, right? So what I should have done in retrospect was when I noticed how the room was set up and just how I was set up to lose, essentially, I should have went up there and riffed for about 3 minutes. And then just so they could hear the rhythm of my voice and just, you know, of course say funny things, but just I should have riffed for about 3 minutes. And then I should have given them some retired material that I don't do anymore. And if the response was, or whatever it was, thank you, good night, mic back in the mic stand, you know, because one, I wasn't being paid, you know. Now, whether I deserve to get paid or not is another issue, but the fact of the matter was I wasn't being paid. So when you're not being paid, why get up there and fight for people or try to prove something to people that don't want you to win, right? So I'm past the stage of trying to prove myself to people, yo. Like I'm just not at that point. If either people want to hear what I have to say or they don't, and I'd rather save my confidence and my energy and my well-being for people that want to see me perform. If you don't want to see me perform, fuck it. Like I'm not there for you, you know? So that was my first mistake. First mistake, I should have I should have went in there. I should have respected the room dangers. Then I should have riffed and then had like one or two retired jokes that I did. If I didn't get the response that I feel that I should have gotten or that's worth my while, thank you, good night, cut my set short, get the fuck on. That's what I should have did, you know? Now if they were laughing with it and they were rocking with it, then I would give them my golden material that I think is my best material right now. You know? So that's where I made my mistake at. So a lot of people, when I told people that, they were like, wow, no, they were like, oh no, you got to stay up there and you just got to take them blow. Nah, my confidence means way more to me than doing 10 extra minutes in front of people that don't want to see me, you know? Yeah. Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and do all that fun internet stuff, like the old people say. So that was that, man. And now like the price that I paid is because like I ran this material at like I did probably like 2 or 3 mics a day. I mean, I've been doing it for like the past couple months, but the material that I brought out, like I specifically ran that, like I just ran it because like I just knew it. Like I was just that confident in the material, you know? And now it's like after I stayed up there too long and tried to force my way through a set where people didn't want to hear me perform, now it's like I'm second guessing that material, you know? So I gotta like rebuild my confidence starting now. But now I know moving forward, if I do a show, any show I do, if they don't come out and say there's no heckling the comedians, there's no disrupting the show, if so, you will be asked to leave. And if they don't have people policing that shit, I'm going there to riff for the first 3 minutes. And then I'm gonna throw out, I'm gonna do some retired jokes, maybe like 1 or 2, 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky. And if they're not really like rocking with me, thank you, good night, and just get the fuck off stage. Like I don't have time for that shit, you know. Like I don't have time to be begging in front of people that don't want to see me win. Like I don't have energy for that. Right? You have to know which battles to pick, and that's my strategy moving forward. Now, my mom recently seen me perform live for the first time, and you know she was impressed. You know, but if she came out here and saw me do this shit, she'd have been like, "Baby, you sure you doing this? You sure you want to do this comedy? I don't think comedy for you. I think you need to just go ahead and just pack on up and come on home." All right. So people that never seen me before, they were like, "Yo, why is he even up there? He looks terrible," you know. But I made a mistake and I paid for it. So I'm not gonna make that mistake again. It's not gonna happen again. I can tell you that. You know. Now here's the flip side, right? Like if I was being paid to play in that room, then I would have stayed up there. You got to do your time, right? If you get paid to do your time, you got to do your time. So if I were being paid like for that, if I was being paid for that show, I would take the same approach. But then it was like if people were heckling me during my set, and the room was doing nothing about it, I got to defend myself. Right? So one thing that I'm going to work on is I'm going to work on just, I don't know, like I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to work on just roasting motherfuckers. Yo. Like I know how to snap, I know how to joke, I know how to get stupid, but I need to be able to get to the point where I'm so nice with it where if someone's heckling me during my set to where I can't even get my words out or get my jokes out and they're just interrupting the show, I can stay on them and make everyone else laugh at them, whether I'm being mean or being whatever. Just my goal is to get him out or is to get them out. So when someone's heckling me during my set and they're not letting me get my material off, I got to stay on them to the point to where I make them want to leave. Either one, they're gonna leave on their own, or they're gonna rush the stage. But I'm not gonna sit up here and have my confidence get dinged up because a motherfucker wants to heckle niggas during their jokes. So one of my assignments is I got to go back and watch this painful 15 minutes that I was up there struggling. And I have to identify where I went wrong, and then also identify, like, write down, like, roast, like what could I have said that was funny, but that was also like with the intent on getting these motherfuckers to get the fuck out, you know, to either shut up or get the fuck out, you know. But I don't even like shutting up hecklers because they're still there, and now it's in the back of your head. And when you're trying to shift gears into another joke, and then they jump out at the wrong time, it's gonna fuck up the delivery of your joke. So at that point, you got to get that motherfucker out of there, you know. So that's what I have to do. And that's like the difference between hood rooms and white rooms, right? Like I don't like to break it down in terms of race, but I kind of have to in this case, right? A hood room doesn't necessarily have to be black. It's just it's the energy of the room, and it's just ratchet. Like it's just not set up for comedy. It's not set up for comedy, and you know, people are just being unruly. They're just being mean. They're just being nasty. So, one thing that I realized about hood rooms and white rooms is they're inverses of each other, right? Like they're like total opposites, almost like to the T, you know? So for example, in a hood room, if you start off doing material like I did, which was my fault, if you start off in the hood room doing material, even if it's a funny joke that'll knock people on their back, that have knocked people on their back, it's not going to work because the mentality of a hood room or the psychology of a hood room is totally different. Like it's like they probably struggled harder to get to the room. They probably had to scrunch up some money to pay for parking and to pay for the ticket. They probably don't know where their friends is at. They probably made the plans at the last minute, you know. So when you go to a hood room, it's almost like they want you to prove that you're funny naturally without any jokes, right? It's like they want you to just naturally to be off the cuff, right? That's what they kind of want in a, like, off rip. Like if you get in there and if it sounds like you're doing a set, they're going to kind of turn their nose up at your set. They're going to turn their nose up at you, and they're going to half-ass listen. And then they're going to try to like trip you up, or they're going to look to see where they can trip you up at, or they're going to look to see where your weaknesses are. And then they're going to just start fucking with you. You know, it's like an unruly public school, right? When you go to like an unruly public school where you have a new substitute teacher that comes in and the class just wants to do what they want to do. If you come in there with something orthodox and it sounds, and you bring order, if you're trying to bring order and structure to the classroom, but like they're not going to take it serious. Like they're just going to clown you. They're like, you bringing material? Like we don't want to hear that shit. So, but once you come in there and you match the energy and you just riff, and then you basically become the alpha of the room, quote. I don't like using that term, but once they respect you enough for being up there, then you can slide in a joke or two to see how they're going to respond. You know, if they start responding to your material, then you got them, right? So I feel like in a hood room, you have to work and test to even determine whether you can even do your material there or not. You know, so that's a hood room. I'm not saying a hood room is worse than a white room. I'm just stating the differences. You know, now in a white room, if you start off with So a white room, when you start off, like you have to start off with structure, right? Like the joke just has to sound structured. Like they're there to laugh. Like the joke, there's been so many white rooms I've done where the jokes I've done up front weren't even funny, but they were structured and they knew the rhythm on where to laugh. Not like rhythm, like dancing rhythm, but they just knew, okay, setup, punchline, ha. Okay, 1, 2, ha. Like it's like a cadence, you know? But if you get up there and just start talking, they're gonna be polite and listen to you. But then the longer you sit up there and talk and riff, which is the opposite of doing a hood room, what'll happen is when you try to get to your material, none of your material is gonna work. Like they're just gonna sit there because, you know, that's not what they used to. So white room, I typically come out with some stuff that's pretty like structured, like you know where the joke is supposed to be at. And then maybe after the first like 10 minutes, then I'll start to loosen up and then I'll be more ad lib, more in the moment, or I'll do more material that like I'm working out. That's funny, that has legs, but they'll rock with it more, you know? Whereas in a hood room, like I said, riff for a couple minutes, and then if they and then throw out some retired material that killed in the past. If they bite, cool. If not, then back to riffing. But I'm not gonna sit up there, and you got to know like when to use material and when not to, right? And that's the skill in and of itself. So anywho, like that's like the major takeaway from this lesson, right? So when I say I took an L, a lot of people think loss, but no, I took a lesson. L is for lesson, not loss, right? There's no losing, there's just learning. So excuse me. So that's I just had to get that off my chest, you know. As a result of this past lesson, one thing I've noticed about me is like I give even less fucks right now. Like I'm at a point right now where I see the importance of saying what you need to say. And I think before, the danger I had before was I wanted everyone to like me, you know, like not consciously, but subconsciously. I was like, you know, I'm trying to do things to make everybody like me and to be likable. Now, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. Matter of fact, I either want you to hate me or love me, but I'm going to make you make a choice. But none of this soft in the middle of the lane shit no more. This is like, you know, I'm going to speak my truth. And if you like it, cool. If not, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I don't care. That's where I'm at. You know? So, with all that being said, I think this is a good place to end. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know, make sure you, if you have any thoughts about what I said or any comments, put it in the comment section. You know, like I said, look, I accept all comments. I don't do none of that sucker shit where I hide comments or I review comments. If you got some mean shit you want to say that shit. I don't give a shit. If you got some cool shit to say, cool, great. But like I said, put comments in the comment section, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. And without further ado, I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Yep. Trippin' with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin'. Yep. Trippin'. Trippin. Trippin with Theobold.
Trippin with Theobold.